Well, I want to talk to Lord Wolfson now. Lord Wolfson KC, he's a former Justice Minister. He is a Conservative peer, and he has written with three others to Ofcom, the broadcasting regulator, in regard to the BBC. David, thank you for joining us today. I hope it's okay that I call you David.
Obviously, thank you.
Tell me what you've put in your letter, and tell me what your sentiments are on this, because we have a lot of viewers and listeners who I think will totally agree with you.
Well, really, we make 3 points. First of all, we say that what took place on Saturday was undoubtedly terrorism. Indeed, if you wanted a paradigm example of what terrorism is, what happened on Saturday is that example. So the first point is the simple meaning of words is it's terrorism. Secondly, as a matter of law, Hamas has been proscribed in this country as an illegal terrorist organization. It is illegal, it is criminal in this country to voice support for Hamas or to demonstrate in their favor. And so as a matter of the law of England and Wales, Hamas is a terrorist organization. And third, the BBC has used the word terrorist for other atrocities. It called the perpetrators of the 7/7 attacks in London terrorists. It called the people who mowed young people down in Paris nightclub in 2015 terrorists. And therefore, we are simply incomprehensible, really incomprehensible, as to why the BBC consistently refuses to describe these people as terrorists. The line which they seem to be taking is, well, we don't use the word terrorist.
But that's not true. That is not true.
Absolutely. A simple look through their own website show that they use the word terrorist. Indeed, after the attacks in London, Roger Mosey, who was then head of BBC Television News, wrote an article in The Guardian explaining that the BBC will use the word terrorist when it's appropriate to do so. And so the question is, why was it not appropriate to do so for the events on Saturday? And to that, we've had no answer at all.
I basically don't have anything to add to that, David, apart from the fact that I completely agree with you. I think it's pretty shameful on this as well, and I disagree with every point you've made. And perhaps I can ask you about the FA and tonight at the England-Australia match at Wembley. Why do you think the Football Association has been so clear that it will not light up the Wembley Arch in solidarity with Israel in blue and white? We've seen that. I was going across the bridge beside Parliament the other night. I saw that white and blue projected on the side of Parliament. Downing Street, it has the Israeli flag projected onto it. The FA has decided on numerous other occasions, including some of the ones you've just mentioned there, actually, to have various colours in their arch, but apparently not for Israel. Why do you think that is?
Well, again, I don't have, I'm afraid, an answer for you. And the two stories are linked because of the differential treatment. And that's the real concern I have. With the Wembley Arch, we lit the Wembley Arch when there was a terrorist attack in Turkey in 2016. We lit the Wembley Arch when there was that terrorist attack, which I mentioned, in the Paris nightclub in 2015. Indeed, after that attack, before the next round of Premier League games, the Marseillaise, the French national anthem, was played at every Premier League ground before the game started. And yet, when it was suggested that the arch would be lit last night to commemorate the terrorist atrocity on Saturday, all of a sudden there was a problem. I don't know what the problem was, and instead they've decided to wear some black armbands and have a minute's silence this evening. It's the differential treatment which I think is the real problem. It was suggested to me, and I think it's been suggested by some on the media, that they had security concerns. I simply do not understand that. The proposal was to light the arch last night when the stadium was empty. And frankly, who are these security concerns from? What are we concerned about? Are we concerned that the Golders Green Bridge Club are going to march on Wembley? Or are we concerned that supporters of Hamas are going to march on Wembley? Because if it's the former, it's obviously ridiculous. If it's the latter, then we are giving in to terrorism. The FA, and I'm a member, I'm chair of the Football Regulatory Authority. The FA has got a proud history of standing up to racial discrimination, of standing up for LGBT rights. I'm proud of those campaigns. I'm proud of the Kick It Out campaign. But when push comes to shove, we flunked it last night. And I'm still waiting for a proper explanation from the FA as to why the Arch was lit in 2015, 2016, on other occasions, but not last night.
If you don't get an explanation on this from the FA that you're happy with, will you consider your position on the Football Regulatory Authority?
Well, I'm an independent commissioner, and the value of my position on the FRA is that I'm independent, and I'm speaking out publicly on this issue. I was not part of the decision, obviously, not to light the Arch, and I have been asked whether I want to have a meeting with the chair of the FA, the chair of the Inclusion Advisory Panel, and the chair of the Kick It Out campaign. And I've said that I'm very happy to have that meeting. In my discussions so far, all I've been told is the process by which the decision was reached and not why that decision was reached. And I look forward to that explanation.
Well, when you get it, come back and talk to us again, because we're interested too. David Wolfson, Lord Wolfson KC, thank you very much indeed.